students, welcome to Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School. Myself Snehal Mane, teaching you maths for grade 6. In the previous class we have completed lesson number 8, that is decimals. Now we are going to start new lesson number 9, data handling. So we all know we have a lots of data to handle. So there are different ways wherein we handle the data. So in this lesson we are going to see about how do we handle the large number of data by using different methods. So let us see here. See, you must have observed your teacher recording the attendance of students in your class every day. Did you observe, students? Yes, your teacher takes attendance of students every day in the class. Or you also must have observed the recording of marks obtained by you after every test. So we have different types of tests. So after every test, different subjects marks are recorded by the class teacher, right? So this is a method where we handle the large number of data. Similarly, you must have also seen a cricket scoreboard. Two scoreboard have been illustrated here. Let us see. Name of the bowlers, that is A, B, C and D, and the overs are 10, common for all, and runs are 2, 1, 2, 1. The runs given are 40, 30, 20 and 50 by the different bowlers, and the wickets taken are 3, 2, 1, 4. So here we can observe in a table all about a bowler is given, about different bowlers it is given in this table, which tells everything about the particular bowler. So 10 overs, maiden overs, then runs are given, how many wickets he has taken, we can know the things. In the same way, here also we have different name of the batsman. E batsman, he has taken 45 runs, he has faced 62 balls and in how many minutes? 75 minutes. So you know that in a game of cricket, the information recorded is not simply about who won or who lost, right? You know, you like cricket. I think most of you are the fan of cricket. You like to watch it. So you also know that the information recording is not simply about who has won the match or who has lost the match. It is about giving the information about each batsman, each bowler, everything. In the scoreboard, you will also find some equally important information about the game. For instance, you may find out the time taken and the number of balls faced by the highest run scorer. By that only we can further know about the man of the match. Yes. So a scoreboard is very much important. Similarly, in your day-to-day life, you must have seen several kinds of tables consisting of figures, names, etc. Figures, names, etc. These tables provide data. A data is a collection of numbers gathered to give some information. So it is a table wherein collection of data is done and it gives us some information. It gives us some information. Now we will see how to record the data. Let us take an example of class. Let us take an example of class which is preparing to go for a picnic. Now we have a class and the class is preparing to go for the picnic. The teacher asked the students to give their choice of fruits out of banana, apple, orange or guava. Okay? So there are few fruits and teacher is asking to choose fruits, whichever fruits they like, they need to tell to the teacher. Okay, what are the fruits here? Banana, apple, orange or guava. Okay, out of this teachers told to choose the fruits. Uma is asked to prepare the list. So, he is preparing the list here, Uma. she prepared a list of all the children and wrote the choice of fruits against each name. So, she has prepared the choice of fruits, list of choice of fruits against each name. This list would help the teacher to distribute fruits according to the choice. So, let us see how this list will help teacher to find out the fruits accordingly and okay. So, let us see here. So, Raghav likes banana, Preeti likes apple, Amar guava, Fatima orange, Amita apple, Raman banana, Radha orange, Farida guava, Anuradha banana, Rati banana, Bhavna apple, Manoj banana, Donald apple, Maria banana, Uma orange, Akhtar guava, Ritu apple, Salma banana, Kavita guava and Javed banana. So, she has made the list of the fruits liked by each student. So, here is the list that we read out. If the teacher wants to know the number of bananas for the class, now we know so we want to make the number of bananas, how many students like the number of bananas, then number of apples, number of guava and number of orange. She has to read the names in the list one by one and count the total number of bananas required. So, now we have the list here. So, let us count the number of bananas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, right. So, to know the number of apples, guavas and oranges separately, she has to repeat the same process for each of these fruits. How tedious and how time consuming it is. It might become more tedious if the list has say 50 students. Okay. Now, we have the 20 students here. Now, suppose teacher wants to know about all the fruits. So, if teacher wants to ask in a class, what she would do? She would take the name of the Raghav. Do you like banana? He says yes. Preeti, she says no. Then she does it for banana. Then next she will go for the apple. Then next she will go for the orange and then next she will go for the guava. So, it is difficult and it takes a lot of time to take all the names of the students and ask about each fruits in detail. Yes, and if the students, number of students in the class are more, again it is more difficult, right. So, instead of that, what has been done here? Uma writes only the names of these fruits one by one like banana, apple, guava, orange, apple, banana, orange, guava. Okay. So, instead of writing this, she has written number of students. For the number of students, she has not written the name, she has written only same thing. She has written banana, then other student like apple, other student like guava, then orange, then apple, banana, orange, guava, banana, banana, apple, banana, apple, banana, orange, guava, apple, banana, guava, banana. In this way she has written. Okay. So, do you think this makes the teacher's work easier? By this way, does the teacher work gets easier? Do you think? Yes, she still has to count the fruits in the list one by one as she did it earlier. Now, but teacher's work has become little easier, but she needs to count the fruits in the list. Salma has one another idea. She makes 4 squares on the floor. Every square is kept for fruit of one kind only. She asked the students to put one pebble in the square which matches their choices. A student opting for banana will put a pebble in the square marked for banana, and then 4 squares are made, like here for banana 1 square is made, for orange 1 square is made, for apple and for guava. So, she told the students to put the pebbles in front of the fruits given, in front of the names of fruits given. So, by counting the pebbles in each square, Salma can quickly tell the number of each kind of fruit required. Yes, by counting the number of pebbles in each square, Salma can tell the number of each kind of fruits required. She can get the required information quickly by systematically placing the pebbles in the different squares. Try to perform this activity for 40 students and with the names of any 4 fruits. Instead of pebbles, you can use the bottle caps for some other tokens. Okay? See here. So, we have seen different methods here. What the first method was very time consuming and lengthy. Okay. What was the first method? Wherein teachers take the name of the students, each and every student, and ask for each fruits. First she will ask for banana, apple, orange and then so on, right. Then in the next case, what did Uma did? Uma written the names of the students, and in front of the name she has written the fruit liked by the student. Okay. So, this was the second method, and the third method where Uma, she has written only the names of the fruits told by the students continuously. And then Salma suggested one idea wherein 4 squares are made on the names of fruits banana, orange, apple and guava, and pebbles are put in the squares to count the number of students like banana, orange, apples or guava. So, what do you think among these, which is the most easiest method to find it? Yes students, it is right. The last method which was told by Salma is the most easiest method to prepare the squares and put the pebbles in the boxes, square boxes, to find the number of students like which fruits. So, banana, how many students do like banana? Let us count 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many students like banana? 8. Then oranges 3, then apple 5 and then guava 4. So, the last method was the easiest method. Next, organization of data. Now, just now we have seen recording data. This data has been recorded. Now, we are going to see how we can organize the data. To get the same information which Salma got, Ronald needs only a pen and a paper. He does not need pebbles. He also does not ask students to come and place the pebbles. He prepares the following table. Okay? Now, there is another idea by Ronald. He says, I can do this only by pen and a paper. He does not need pebbles, he does not need the square box to be drawn, he does not need the students to get up from the places, take the pebbles and throw in the box. So, what to do here now? See how he has done, let us see here. He has written banana, orange, apple and guava. What does one tick mark indicate? 4 students preferred guava. How many tick mark are there against guava? 4. Discuss about these methods, which is the best. Why? Which method is more useful when information from a much larger data is required? So, students, so what he has done? He sat on one place, he has taken a pen and a paper, he has written the names of the fruits in a table and he is just putting the number of ticks. So, for example, we are sitting in a class and teacher comes and asks Now I am going to ask you question, you just raise your hands. So, in front of banana, the teacher asked, how many of you like banana? So, how many students raised their hands? 8 students. So, we have given 8 ticks here, and then orange 3, then apple 5, and then guava 4. So, in this way, without consuming time, without making students to get up from one place to another place, so we can easily organize the data by using the pen and the paper. Okay. So, this is the organization of data, and it can be done very easily. Let us see a few examples to understand it better. A teacher wants to know the choice of food of each student as part of midday meal program. The teacher assigns the task of collecting this information to Maria. Maria does so using a paper and a pencil. After arranging the choices in a column, she put against choice of food 1 mark for every student making that choice. See, here teacher wants to know the choice of food of each student as a part of midday meal program. It is a program where the school provides the midday meal to the students. So, here teacher assigned the task for collecting the information. Maria does so by using a paper and a pencil after arranging the choices in a column. So, what are the choices? The students, those who like rice only, the student those who like chapati only, or the students those who like both the rice and the chapati. And what she has done, she has just taken a pen, paper and written the choices, and in front of choice the number of students she has put 1 tick, 1 tick. So, how many students do like rice? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So, in this way the number of lines are counted and we can know the total number of students, those who like rice, those who like chapati and those who like both rice and chapati. Let us see here. Umesh, after seeing the table, suggested a better method to count the students. Okay. Now, as these lines are given, we need to count it 1, 2, 3, 4. So, it was the little difficult method. So, he has suggested a way. Who? Umesh. He has done circle 10 lines. He has circled 10 lines. So, 10 and then 7, 17, 10, 3, 13 and 2, 10, 10. So, we get 20. So, by seeing this, Rajan made it simpler by asking her to make groups of 5 instead of 10. Rajan made it simpler by asking her to make groups of 5 instead of 10 as shown below. Now, again it is made, 5 groups are made. In a group 5 lines should be there, 5, 10, 15 and 2, 17, 5, 10 and 3, 13, 5, 10, 15, 20. So, we get 20. So, teacher suggested that the 5th mark in the group of 5 marks should be used as a cross as shown by. So, what teacher said? So, when we are taking the, instead of making these groups of 5, we can do 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, and 5th one we will count, and but while writing we will just cross it. We will just cross it. So, these are tally marks. These are tally marks. Thus, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and these 2 counts 7, shows the count to be 5 plus 2, that is 7. And here 5 plus 5 shows the count 10, shows the count 10. So, now after teacher suggesting the 5th mark to be as cross, they have prepared a table where they use the tally mark to find the number of students. So, number of students like rice only were 17. So, 5, 10, 15 and plus 2 17. Here 5, 10 plus 3 13. Here 5, 10, 15, 20. So, we have 20. Okay. So, this was about tally marks. Here also we have organized the data by using the tally marks. Ekta is asked to collect data for size of shoes of students in her class 6. Her findings are recorded in the manner shown below. Okay, Ekta is asked to collect the data for size of shoes of students in her class 6. There are few students in her class. She has been said to collect the size of shoes for each student. She has recorded her data in the way. She has taken a box and with the help of pencil she has written 5, 4, 7, 5, 6, 7. In this way she has written. Javed wanted to know the size of the shoes worn by the maximum number of students. The size of the shoes worn by the minimum number of students, can you find this information? Now, it has been asked to Javed to find the size of the shoes worn by maximum number of students and the size of the shoes worn by minimum number of students. So, first of all we need to make a table wherein we can represent the data. So, let us see, we know we want to make the list of shoe size. So, how many types of shoe size are there here, we need to find it. So, we have 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay. So, shoe sizes are 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So, then we need to prepare the tally marks for this shoe size. Let us see how many shoe size of 4 do we have. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So, we have 5. So, we have used 4 lines and 1 cross marks, that is 5. So, we have written 5. Then we will take the shoes mark for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we need to just count it. So, 8. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8. So, number of students are 8. Then we will count for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we have 10. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10. Then we will count for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 cross mark and 2 lines. So, we get number of students 7 for the shoe mark 7. Now, we will count for 8. We have 1 and 2. We have 1 and 2. Now, we got finally the shoe size and the number of students for that particular shoe size. For 4, we have 5 students. For shoe size 5, we have 8 students. For 6, we have 10 students, and for 7, we have 7 students, and for 8, we have 2 students. Now, what is the question asked? The size of the shoes worn by the maximum number of students. Out of this, which is the maximum you can see? The greatest number, that is 6. So, therefore, the size of the shoes worn by maximum number of students is 6. Okay. Next, the size of the shoes worn by the minimum number of students. The least number of students, which size of shoes they have worn? It is 2. It is 8. It is 2. 2 students have worn the shoe size 8. The shoe size 8. Now, the question asked earlier could be answered easily by using this box. You may also do such activity in your class of different things. You can also see collect information regarding the number of family members of your classmates and represent it in the form of a table. Find to which category most students belongs. So, number of family members, it may be 4, 5 and tally marks then you can do, and number of students with that many family members. You can take your friends, and from then when you get the data, you can find the minimum number of times, the maximum number of times and the same number of times. Okay. Now, let us see about pictograph. Let us see about pictograph. A cupboard has 5 compartments. A cupboard has 5 compartments. In each compartment, a row of book is arranged. Okay. A row of book is arranged in 5 compartments. How many compartments does it have? It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in each row number of books are arranged. The details are indicated in the adjoining table. You can see a cupboard has 5 compartments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In each compartment a row of book. So, row 1 has how many books? It is given here. These are the rows, these are the number of books, and this shows one book indicates one book. So, image or the sign of one books indicates one book. So, row 1 has how many books? 4 books. Row 2 has 5 books. Row 3 has 2 books, and row 4 has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books, and row 5 has 3 books. Okay. Which row has the greatest number of books? Which row has the least number of books? Is there any row which does not have any books? You can answer these questions by just studying the diagram. The picture visually helps you to understand the data. It is a pictograph. The picture which helps you visually to understand the data is called as pictograph. By this you can very easily come to know about the maximum number of books in the row, minimum number of books in the row, or in which row do we have 3 number of books. In this way we can see. So, can you tell by seeing this pictograph in which row we have the maximum number of books? Yes, we have maximum number of books in the row 4, and in which row we have minimum number of books? Yes, in row 3. So, in this way we can show, or visually we can find out the greatest number of books, least number of books. Yes. So, the picture visually helps you to understand the data. It is a pictograph. A pictograph represents data through pictures of objects. It helps answer the questions on the data at a glance. Pictographs are often used by dailies and magazines to attract readers' attention. Collect 1 or 2 such published pictographs and display them in your class. Try to understand what they say. It requires some practice to understand the information given by the pictograph. So, now we have seen about different types where we can organize the data like pictograph, then we have seen tally marks, then we have seen how to organize the data, and then we have also seen recording data. So, now we have seen different types of things where we can find how to record the data by the easiest method. Then we have seen the use of tally marks, and then the visual representation with the help of the pictograph. In the next class we will see in detail how to solve by finding the data and arranging it in the table in the next exercises. Thank you, students.